Hello and welcome to this live broadcast from University College Dublin. My name is Aoife Ryan and I'm the Marketing and Events Coordinator here in the UCD Sutherland School of Law. And I will be the moderator today for this broadcast. To start with, I would like to introduce our two contributors, Brian Hutchinson, Associate Professor and Head of Career Development in the School of Law. He'll be talking about academic and career-related subjects. And Danielle DerGarabedian, I think, if I have that correct, a first-year student in our Law with Politics degree. She's from Long Island, New York, so she'll be able to answer a lot of your questions for today. You're both very welcome. Thank you for participating.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
I'll start by asking both speakers some general questions to give you an overview on studying law in UCD. I will then ask the speakers any questions that have been received in advance or any questions received throughout the broadcast. Okay. Please do ask any questions you would like answered now, or if you think of something afterwards, please contact us at uglaw@ucd.ie and we will get back to you with a response as soon as possible. You can also look at our website, which is ucd.ie/law, where there is a video of the school itself, which will give you a good idea of the law, what the law school is like and the facilities we have here. So Brian, if I can start by asking you to give a brief overview about the school, its size, international ranking, and how many degree subjects students can choose from.
Thanks very much, Aoife. Well, University College Dublin School of Law is long established. Formally, it has existed for over 100 years as the Faculty of Law in the National University of Ireland. But certainly in the last 50 years or so, the law school would be regarded as perhaps the largest and most prestigious of the university law schools in Ireland. It accounts for probably the majority of legal practitioners in Ireland, and certainly when it comes to members of the judiciary, the legal administration, and so on. Most of them will have passed through our hands here at University College Dublin at some point in their careers. And indeed, the exciting thing is we look forward to generating the next generations of legal servants, practitioners, judges, lawyers, and those who can go out and shape the world for the better.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Turning to you now, Danielle, I'm sure the viewers would love to know how you actually made your decision to study law here in University College Dublin.
Thank you, Aoife. So I think beginning in 9th grade, I had decided that I wanted to take the route of law. And initially I was going to do what any American student would do, which was take an undergraduate program for 4 years and then go and do law school and complete that and then take the bar exam. But I was able to find this university through the Common App. So if you want to apply, definitely check the Common App. And I found out that by doing my undergraduate here instead of in the US, I was able to get a law degree and potentially just move back to New York, where I'm from, and then take the bar exam.
Thank you very much. Brian, many students will want to know if a UCD law degree qualifies you to actually practice in the United States. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure. Well, first, I suppose I better say a little bit about the programs we have on offer here. So law is taught as an undergraduate degree program here in Ireland. And at University College Dublin, we have quite a range, as probably most of our viewers are aware, of undergraduate programs involving either a law component or a law major, or indeed a law double with another major. If I break them down into three categories, we have the Bachelor of Civil Law degree, which is a 4-year program studying law over all 4 years and majoring in law. We then have a series of major minor degrees where law is the major. They include the law with French law, law with Chinese, law with economics, law with history, law with politics, law with philosophy, law with Irish, it's the Irish language, and law with social justice. With each of those, the law component obviously is the major. but the minor component, such as that Danielle's doing, is taught in the other faculties and schools around the university. We then have a law and program, the business and law program, which comprises a full law degree and a full business degree. All of these degree programs have a substantial amount of credit hours in law, and of course, for the various different bar associations around the United States, having 160, 170 credit hours in law is what's required in order to be able to take the bar exam. Our experience is that the New York bar accept our programs where the students have taken 3 to 4 years, as they would have done in all our degrees, where they have spent 166 credit hours studying common law modules, as is quite possible to do with most of our programs, that they have been full-time, that their education is on campus, and that the degree is recognized as it is here by our local bar as well. So we have found that certainly students doing our Bachelor of Civil Law degree program have been accepted directly to be able to take the New York bar exam. And for the students doing the law with and the law and programs, where they need to collect an extra credit or extra credits, the New York State Board of Examiners have been routinely accepting students who top up their law credits with an LLM or some similar source of law credits. So quite a lot of our Irish origin students have been taking the New York bar over the years, and what's really exciting is we're now starting to welcome a lot of students coming from the States to pursue the same line, and we look forward to more.
Thanks very much, Brian. Danielle, as Brian mentioned, there's a law with politics program which you're actually taking. Why did you choose to do this particular degree?
So, as I said before, I've been wanting to do law since I was in 9th grade. I was inspired by my uncle, who was a criminal lawyer on Long Island. But I chose law with politics specifically because I think after the 2016 election, I realized that as a young American, you should really educate yourself on not only American politics, but world politics. So I figured at an international university, that'd be my best option to do it.
To something a little less stressful. You actually live on campus, which is a short walk from the building we're in ourselves. And did you have any difficulty at all gaining accommodation here in Dublin?
No, especially for international students anywhere, Americans, Chinese, any of them. You can easily find accommodation on campus because they definitely make the international students a priority, seeing as we can't commute to school. And the living experience here has been absolutely fantastic. It's very comfortable and cozy.
Glad to hear it. Brian, you're responsible for the career program, in the School of Law. Can you outline what students can expect when they get here?
Well, when they get here in terms of the student experience coming as a law student, our class contact hours are relatively comfortable. A student in their first year might spend their time studying 5 modules. A module normally comprises, in our case, about 2 hours a week of class time. It might be supplemented by another hour or 2 of seminars, practical seminars. But of course, law is one of those subjects, I think Danielle will agree, where you can spend a lot of time. In fact, you can spend all your time, if you like, lost in the library, or researching or reading up the details of cases, the details of the history of the law, or indeed pondering problem questions, which is one of the ways in which we teach. I guess American students might be wondering whether we use the Socratic method, which is the way in which law is commonly taught in the United States. That would be where students are given a large amount of reading to prepare in advance, a large amount of things to consider, and then the class is conducted in a sort of a discursive method, We do use the Socratic method for our seminars, but our main teaching mechanism would be the magisterial lecture, so to speak, where the lecturer occupies the floor and doesn't perhaps often embarrass the students too greatly by putting them on the spot or asking them difficult questions. That pattern runs over the 4 years of our programs, and as I said, they're all 4-year programs. But I think one of the features that that viewers might find interesting would be that certainly the majority of our students, 60% or more, typically spend one of their years abroad, that is out of Ireland, away from this institution, at one of our 20 or 30 partner institutions around the world. So we team up, partner with a number of law schools, including some in the United States, including, off the top of my head, Miami, University of California, Davis, University of Minnesota, just to name a few, DePaul University in Chicago, just to name a few. We team up with these universities to allow our students to spend a semester or indeed an academic year at that institution, studying as they would as a member of the student body there. And that study counts towards their degree. Of course, being part of the European Union, which is a delicate topic at this timing, as viewers elsewhere might be aware with Brexit. As members of the European Union, we exchange with 30 or more universities throughout Europe as well, through the Erasmus program. What this means, of course, is that as a student spending your time here in Dublin, whilst many of the students are abroad, that we have a large international intake as well of the return students on those exchanges. And that really adds to the student experience here. It brings different cultures, it brings different approaches, and of course, it brings different relations. And we find it enriches the whole experience greatly. So all told, 4 years with, I would say, a relatively humane workload, plenty of opportunity to experience and explore your interests with the other majors also, or I beg your pardon, with the other minors also, and you know, a diverse, interesting and vibrant student body here. And you know, if University College Dublin, if our campus were a town, in Irish terms, it would probably be the 5th largest town in Ireland in terms of the number of people who are here. So we would come with all those facilities too. Danielle is laughing. I hope that doesn't mean that it's as hard to find your way around here as it is in the 5th largest town.
Ireland is just very small, so I agree. But I'd like to note that for American students, concerning the workload, here you don't have to do preliminary classes, so you won't be taking math or science or history or any, you can take a language as an elective or any of those as an elective, but they're not requirements. So you'll only be focusing on your major. So I think it's definitely a better way to spend your time and your money when you're making a decision on where to go to college.
Thank you very much. Actually leads me nicely onto your experience with the community of UCD and the student body itself. I know you've made a lot of friends in UCD since you started, and I'm just wondering if you can advise students interested in coming here about how you went about it. The Irish are seen as friendly, but are we really?
Of course, of course. So I think one thing that helped me before I even came to UCD was that I reached out to other Americans that were graduating the same year I was or a year after, depending on their course. And we created initially a Facebook group chat of North Americans, and then that expanded into a Snapchat group chat with Americans and Canadians. And that just helped me kind of have a group of people that I had, like, I recognized their faces, and like they were kind of like first friends to open me up to new experiences. And after coming to campus, you get closer to those people that you've established that relationship with, and you can go to events on campus, and there's a lot of events. There's society events and res life events, and just different opportunities on campus to definitely expand and explore what you really want to take part in college, especially the societies.
Fantastic, thank you. That's all of my prepared questions, if you like. We've got some questions in from viewers that I'd just like to put to you guys now. There is a gentleman, Brent, in Boston. He's asking about student life, probably because of what you're just saying, Danielle. And he wants to know more about the societies and clubs. Is there one for law, and what would be the best societies for maybe international students to join?
So definitely two societies come to mind. For law, there's a LawSoc and LNH. So those two are definitely heavily involved with like debating and learning about like the different legal systems. And then for international students, one society that I actually really enjoy taking part in is the International Student Society, because that's definitely like a way to meet not only just different Americans, but students from all over the world. But when it comes to what you're interested in particular, there is a society for literally everything. I didn't even know we had a horticulture society, but if you like that, you should definitely participate in it.
Perfect, thank you very much. Kyle in Boston has been asking about the workload and particularly exams. He'd like to know how you've marked in law, and do your assignments count towards your final grade? Brian, I might ask you to take that one.
That's a good question, Kyle. And the answer is it depends, which is one of the things we teach all lawyers to be able to say on a routine basis. I'm joking. So we use a blended method of assessment. For some modules, the majority of the grading will be done on performance in examinations. Typically, for a module in any subject in our system, the examination will be a 2-hour end of semester examination. But I hasten to add that most modules also spread that burden by assigning some of the overall marks for the module to a midterm assignment. And increasingly, depending upon the subjects involved, that midterm assignment could be an essay, it could be a problem, it could be a project, it might even be a shared presentation between students in the group. So it varies from module to module. Indeed, we even see, occasionally, sometimes multiple choice being used. The tradition here leans more towards the problem-based scenario, where a student would have to advise on a given set of facts having regard to the law and the application of the law in that area. And the other major, I guess, tradition would be the writing of the legal essay. And that's more often done as an assignment throughout the term.
Perfect. Thank you very much. This is another one for yourself, Danielle. Jennifer in Charlotte she's worried about moving so far away on her own, and she's wondering what support systems there are in place for international students here within UCD.
That's a great question, Jen. So I think the biggest support that I've found is my student advisor. And she's just really helped me adjust and like provided assistance if I ever need someone to talk to about my workload, or if I need someone to talk to my lecturers for me, because they can't always answer emails from a student body of like 300 law students. And other than that, definitely the SU, the student union, they provide anything you can imagine, really, from like events where you can meet people to getting an extension on your essays. Like, that's what the student union president is for, and he is great.
Thank you very much. We have a gentleman, Ryan, from California, and he is interested in studying in Ireland, but he'd like to work in perhaps UK, maybe London afterwards. And he has two questions. Does the school have links with any firms there? And will he be able to practice there afterwards? Brian, I might ask you.
Great question, Ryan. And the answer to both your questions in short is yes. We have, in fact, over the last number of years, we not only have links with the firms in London, but sort of the major firms in London, and each year we take a group of 20 students or so to visit these firms, to hear from the lawyers there, and to understand, what are the perhaps the hidden features of applying to be and becoming a solicitor in London. And we have found that has been a really useful relationship, and one which has seen many of our students go on to apply and be accepted there. I guess you would take from that our degrees are recognized for students who want to become solicitors or barristers in England. In order to be certain of meeting the qualification requirements, when studying here, one would need to take certain subjects. The subjects are English constitutional and English property law, but we offer them as modules here for students, and they are recognized for students who want to qualify abroad. So yeah, a lot of our students actually do go on to practice in England. And I guess the final point is Irish and English law, whilst not identical, share, as do most of the laws of the jurisdictions in the United States, they share a common origin and share similar principles. So, moving from Ireland to the States to England is a relatively seamless prospect for our grads.
Thank you very much, Ryan. I have another question coming in from Molly in Minnesota, and she's wondering about the sports facilities, and she's kind of seen a few pictures online. She heard that it's very nice, nice buildings, nice pictures too. And wondering, do you know anything else about them, Danielle?
I know that they are huge, and they are definitely, if you ever need to work out on campus or take part in any of the sports clubs, they're great for that. And I know one thing I really enjoy about UCD's sports facilities is the pool, which is really cool because it's like €4 for the day, or you can join one of the aquatic societies and you can kind of use them, I think, for free. So,
well, if I can jump in there for Molly, working here, I take quite a lot of advantage of being here as well for sports reasons. And I can say that the campus here occupies 200 acres, much of which is green field and woodland walk, and playing fields. So you can expect to encounter a lot of sporting activity going on here, and even people out walking and running and so on. It's really good that way. We also are the home of the Leinster rugby team, which is one of the 4 professional rugby teams in Ireland. So we have, for that reason, a high-performance sports laboratory. We have training facilities, and indeed there is a program of enhancing our existing sports facilities with a new athletics running track coming on stream in the next year or two, and indeed a whole revamped gym and indoor sports facility as well, ranging from climbing walls to archery. The UCD hockey team is highly regarded, and the National Hockey Centre is here for field hockey for ladies. I could go on, and as you can tell, I'm quite enthusiastic about it, but I'm just one of many people in UCD who love sports, and you'll find that it's a great place for people who are interested in those things.
Thanks, Ryan. I think there is something for everybody between societies and sports facilities in UCD. Finally, Danielle, I might just ask you, what has been the best thing you've thought or found about UCD and coming here?
Definitely the amount of people that I've met and my ability to kind of explore an entirely new culture and immerse myself in something I otherwise wouldn't have had an opportunity to if I'd stayed in the United States. I think during my time here, I've gotten exactly what I want out of college, which is to not only be a participant, but not only be like an observer, but a participant in the assimilation of different cultures. And it's definitely been one of my favorite aspects of being here.
Well, thank you both very much. I think we have spoken at length there for a little while, and if any students are just tuning in at the end and you have any questions that you would like to get over to us, it's uglaw@ucd.ie, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have in relation to UCD and our programs. Well, thank you both very much. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And we will speak to people soon, I hope.
See you all in Dublin. Thank you.